Okay, so I have been thinking about this for quite a while. Like, this could very well happen, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm pretty sure I have, yeah, and even before the Bad Batch had begun. It's just that, it's obvious that, you know what, this could happen, and here's the thing. I hope that this video could be, everybody could see this. I really want this video to get out there, and for it to be shared, and just you get the idea. Because hey, this is Star Wars, and this is me heavily talking about the Bad Batch, and one particular character who I'm sure a lot of us, we want to see appear in the Bad Batch. It's a 100% chance that he could appear. And that is right, because here's the thing. There was an article, I'm pretty sure, like, the people behind the Bad Batch said they promise us familiar faces, coming to the Bad Batch. And I would assume that we could get the potential of him showing up in the Bad Batch. There's a really good chance, And I'm, of course, talking about one of the best bounty hunter characters in Star Wars, right next to Boba Fett, and who he, of course, we all know, first appeared in the Clone Wars. That's where everybody just loved this guy, and he was such a cool, just bounty hunter, you name it, right there next to Boba Fett. I am, of course, talking about none other than Cad Bane. Now, because, here's another thing, because Cad Bane, he probably has to be my number one favorite bounty hunter, like my favorite bounty hunter character in Star Wars, right next to Boba Fett. I mean, heck, you look at the Star Wars YouTube channel, they did a top 10, I'm pretty sure, yeah, top 10 list of the top 10 best bounty hunters, and you know who was number one? Cad Bane was. Bane was number one, and that came from the Star Wars YouTube channel themselves, the Star Wars YouTube channel. It came from themselves, placing Cad Bane on number one. So, because here's the thing, we've not really, because Cad Bane, I'm pretty sure, because, at least once Cad Bane was, well, besides Cad Bane actually appearing on screen or something, like Cad Bane had been mentioned a few times here and there, like, specifically, Cad Bane, I think, like, an art piece or something of him was, like, showed or mentioned and such. We saw it in, like, Star Wars Rebels, I'm pretty sure, and then, like, a mentioning of Cad Bane in Season 7, by the two sisters, Rafa and Tessa, I'm pretty sure, yeah, mentioning the events of when Cad Bane first appeared, and it was in the last episode of Season 1, where Cad Bane, a bunch of bounty hunters, they break out and free Zero the Hutt, and that's when, in Season 2, literally, because Cad Bane started Season 2, because with the three-parter episode of the Holocron, and the Children of the Force, and so on. And the last time that Cad Bane appeared and that we saw him was in Season 4 of the Clone Wars, where he and a bunch of other bounty hunters, and with Obi-Wan disguised as Reiko Hardeen, all the bounty hunters, they are hired by Dooku to attempt to capture Chancellor Palpatine, and which also had all the bounty hunters be tested for this mission and such, and their skills in a device called the Box, and yeah, that was the last time that we saw Cad Bane, and he got arrested, and yep, that was the last we saw of Cad Bane. And if I recall, there was, yeah, because I found out about this a while ago, that there was a new Clone Wars book that was published, maybe I want to say a year ago, and like even like because in the book, like, mentioning about the events of, because with the capturing of Chancellor Palpatine and Obi-Wan disguised as Reiko Hardeen, Cad Bane, you name it, and Corey Burton being the narrator of the audiobook, and I'm pretty sure because he was doing the voice of Cad Bane, I don't know. But that's another thing, because even Cad Bane, he did appear in, say, Disney Infinity of the Twilight of the Republic playset, and, yeah, so I think there is a really good chance we could get the appearance of Cad Bane in the Clone Wars. If you think about it, because there's a 100% chance, it's way open, widely open for him appearing in that show. Just, come on, he'd be perfect, you know? Now, here's the thing, because, like, if for those of us who would remember our history of the Clone Wars, you know, because back when in 2013 it got canceled, you know, and that was right when, you know, it was like a year or so when, like, Disney had acquired Lucasfilm, and with that, Star Wars and all the other Lucasfilm property stuff, you know. Well, and because, you know, Clone Wars kept continuing on throughout Season 5, and up until the beginning of 2013, that's when Clone Wars had ended. Disney canceled it to move on and to focus on the new Star Wars animated series, Rebels, and, of course, The Force Awakens, the return of Star Wars being on the big screen, you name it. I could understand that, but that was still kind of, pardon my French, that was kind of a dick move, and just, it was not, it was, they ended it at a bad time, at a bad spot, you know what I'm saying? And for years, I think, everybody was wanting more Clone Wars, but that wasn't until, because, you know, we had Season 6 a year later. Netflix picked it up, and that was it. That was the last of Clone Wars. Season 6 was its final. Until, you know, remember, because, well, you know, with the return of Clone Wars in Season 7, it would come straight to Disney+. But besides that, you know, there were many episodes that were planned but never got finished. Some clips were shown, you know, like at some of the Star Wars celebrations of what these episodes were going to be like. And one of the arcs was actually an arc that would focus on a young Boba Fett, you know, I'd say Boba Fett in his 20s or something, and Cad Bane and Boba Fett teaming up. And there would have been a possibility, say, that Cad Bane could have died. Like, there was one scene, and it was a standoff between Boba Fett and Cad Bane, you know, because just like, you know, those westerns, you know, with, you know, them drawing out their guns, you know, and they do it at the same time. They fire at each other at the same time. They both go down, and Cad Bane's hat goes flying off of his head, and there's one part, because, you know, Boba Fett's helmet comes off of his head, you know, and we see that's where Boba Fett gets the mark, the dent, you know, on his helmet, you know, because from that the standoff of both him and Cad Bane. And, yeah, it's a good thing, because here's the thing, because it's kind of nice to see that arc didn't happen, because, you know, because, you know, there was a chance that Cad Bane would have died, you know, and I don't think any of us would have liked that. Don't you think? Do you agree with me? But here's the thing. I think as of now, and I've seen a couple of videos where people were talking, some Star Wars YouTubers were talking about, like, what happened to Cad Bane after the events of the Clone Wars, and from the looks as though that arc that could have happened is not considered canon, nor do I think... I'm pretty sure, yeah. That arc, and I guess with a couple others, you know, they're not considered canon, you know, and, you know, only a few of those did make it to being canon and such. Like, of course, the arc of the Bad Batch, for one thing. But just with a few changes, that one arc with Ahsoka, like what she's been doing after she left the Jedi Order, with a few snippets changed, you know what I'm saying? That, and I'm pretty sure the one arc with the Kyber Crystal, you know, Kyber Crystal, yeah, Anakin and Obi-Wan, they're on Utapau, they're trying to find a crystal, which is a tease, and, you know, like, the possibility, because that crystal would be used for the main weapon of the Death Star, you know, for firing and such. But aside from that, because, okay, Cad Bane, because I think there is a good chance that Cad Bane could appear in the Bad Batch, you know, and it's a really good chance. Like, we don't know, and we don't need to know until we see, you know, how Cad Bane would come into the Bad Batch, what he'd be doing and such, and coming across the Bad Batch, for one thing, And here's the thing. So far, we've had one familiar face from the Clone Wars appear in the Bad Batch, which was Cut, the one clone who deserted the Republic Army, and, you know, he was married, and he has kids, you know, is a farmer. You know, we have him and his family. They appeared in the Bad Batch. So that's one. So let's just wait and see who else from the Clone Wars, who we've seen in the Clone Wars, is going to appear in the Bad Batch. I mean, for one thing, we know the fact because, okay, we did get the appearance of Saw Gerrera. Okay, like, that's another one, too. You know, that's two. I almost forgot. Because, well, Saw Gerrera, he first appeared in the Clone Wars. And it wasn't until, like, he would appear again, this time in live action, in Rogue One, have a big part in it. And also, we would see him in, of course, in the animation form, in Rebels. And we see him again in Clone Wars. And with the original voice of Saw Gerrera from the Clone Wars, reprising the role. So that's awesome, you know. Of course, yeah, makes sense. But yeah, so we had Saw Gerrera, and we've gotten Cut. So let's just see who else from the Clone Wars will be appearing. As I said, and with this video, focusing on Cad Bane, all about Cad Bane. Cad Bane is a very good choice, and it's a 100% chance he could appear. Okay, there's no doubt about it. We need more Cad Bane. Just, you know, bring him back, you know? Come on, Dave, you know? Everybody loves Ahsoka. They love Cad Bane as well, you know? These two characters, they've been through quite a lot. Their skills, fighting skills, their abilities, you name it. And, you know, we are also, of course, getting the appearance of Fennec. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right. You know, who we've seen in The Mandalorian. Now she's going to be in the world of animation of Star Wars and in the Bad Batch. And that's another thing, like, I think if I recall, because I've said this a few times, and my family's been kind of in on me with this, like, you know, in on it, that is, of, like, the possibility of, say, maybe Cad Bane could appear in The Mandalorian. Just, you never know. You never know. I think that would be a great idea, you know? Get somebody to, like, be in the makeup or, you know, costume of the species of Cad Bane, and get Corey Burton to voice Cad Bane, you know? I'd say, you know, Corey Burton, he's definitely the voice of Cad Bane, both in animation and I think in live action as well. I mean, heck, Hondo, for one thing, Jim Cummings did the voice of Hondo for, like, say, the Galaxy's Edge attraction, where somebody was in makeup and such as Hondo, and Jim Cummings voiced Hondo. You know what I mean? Just, yeah, that can happen too with Cad Bane. So, you know. And besides, Cad Bane's an alien. Like, you know, he's one of those blue creatures who, if you remember, we first saw in A New Hope in the cantina scene. So, there you go. There's your answer right there. It all makes sense. But with all that being said, I really hope, because, you know, we are getting the Bad Batch for Season 1. We have 14 episodes. Whether or not in this season or, say, in Season 2, I bet you we're going to get more seasons of The Bad Batch. I don't see why not. That's another thing, because Dave Filoni, I remember reading a quote from him, like something I saw on Facebook, where he said that that The Bad Batch happened because the fans wanted more of The Bad Batch. You listen to the fans, and listen to me and the other fans who, you know, I know there's fans out there like myself who are probably just like me, the possibility of Cad Bane appearing in the Bad Batch. You know what I mean? So, you know, whether or not in the first season or in Season 2, we would get an appearance of Cad Bane. I mean, you know, you never know. And because we have 14 episodes, you know, it could happen, just, you get the idea. So, but with all that being said, I really hope this happens. You know, we will get the appearance and return of Cad Bane. It's been quite a while, and I'd say we deserve to see him again in action, and just, you know, because it's Cad Bane. What can you say? So, thank you guys for listening. I hope many of the Star Wars fans will see this video and, you know, agree with me on this. Just, you know, I really would love to see Cad Bane in the Bad Batch. There's a 100% chance. It's wide open, you know. So, thank you guys. You know, thanks for watching. Leave, like, and just leave comments as always, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, peace out, and may the Force be with you.